joining us on our call today. My name is Nicole Van Wert from Transcat, and I'll be your moderator this afternoon. Our webinar topic today is GE Druck's exciting new handheld pressure calibrator, the DPI611. Our presenter today is Tom Reid from GE. He is the North American Sales Manager for GE Druck Pressure Instruments, Measurements and Control Division. He has served as both Product Manager and Sales Manager at GE Druck for over 17 years, with emphasis on pressure instrumentation. We expect today's presentation to last roughly 20 to 30 minutes, and then we'll open up for questions that have been submitted. During any time of the presentation, you can send your questions through the question box to the right in your webinar controls. I also want to mention that this webinar is being recorded. Each of you will receive a follow-up email with the link to the recorded webinar and the slides of today's presentation. At this time, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Tom.
Thanks, Nicole, and good afternoon to everyone. First off, I'd like to thank you all for taking time today from your busy schedules to join. I'd also like to thank Transcat for hosting this webinar. Well, we at GE are really excited about this new portable pressure calibrator. A great deal of time, thought, and efforts got into its development, and I think that will become pretty evident. We have a lot to cover in a short period of time, so let's get right into it. But first, we're going to start off with a little bit of history. Bear with me 1 second, please. There we go. As the slide says, Druck was formed in 1970 to develop and manufacture piezoresistive silicon-based pressure transmitters for the aerospace industry. This was specifically for jet engine development and wind tunnels. Druck was acquired by GE in 2002 for its measurement and control product line and is now part of GE Oil and Gas Division. Utilizing the Druck transducer expertise, the first Druck portable pressure calibrator, the DPI600, was introduced in 1981. Since then, more than 200,000 DPI600 series calibrators have been sold globally. Our most recent portable pressure calibrator, the DPI610, the most popular 600 series to date, has been a market leader. It's an industry workhorse for pressure calibrations, and it's recognized for its unique blue color, something that those of us who have been with the company for many years have grown to love, so to speak. And it's simply referred to often as just the Druck. Very often when we go to visit customers and ask them what they're currently using, they say they have a Druck. Chances are it's the DPI610. The 610 featured an 0.25 full-scale accuracy. The PC, or pressure calibrator model, came with a pneumatic built-in hand pump for generating both vacuum and pressure to 300 psi. It provided both pressure and electrical readouts along with 24-volt loop power, and it's basically a forerunner in the documenting process calibrator market. But advances in technology, and that's electronics, pressure sensor design, display improvements, as well as feedback from our very large installed customer base, has led to our latest 600 series offering, and the reason for this webinar, the new DPI611. The 611 features increased accuracy with digital pressure sensor technology and state-of-the-art electronics. It's got an improved hand pump design, a simplified operator interface, and it's all in a smaller, lighter, and even more robust package that I'll detail during the next few minutes of this presentation. The 611 is really a truly collaborative effort between Druck, who, as I mentioned before, have been producing pressure sensors for over 45 years, and GE, which is world-renowned for its Six Sigma manufacturing, design, and engineering processes. We've combined highly accurate digital pressure sensors, precision mechanical pressure systems, the latest advancements in electronic and display technology, and packaged these components in a robust ergonomic enclosure and produced an intuitive, easy-to-use, dependable pressure calibrator that we truly expect will become the new workhorse. So let's get into some specifics on the 611. First off, it's 50% smaller than the 610. It's 33% lighter as well. Everyone who routinely uses this type of equipment appreciates smaller and lighter, but not at the cost of quality. We know where and exactly how this product is used, and trust me, the 611 is built like a tank. It's really obvious when you have it in your hands and you hold on to it. The pumping system has been improved. We've reduced the bore and increased the stroke length. And what that does is provide a faster and easier pressure generation, and I'll explain a little bit more about this in a minute. The new pump also improves the vacuum capability, makes it even better than the 610, which for its time was by far best in class. And we've also significantly increased both the pressure and electrical accuracy, and I'll talk a little bit about that later on as well. Because of its low power requirements, the 611 will operate with either AA batteries, lithium-ion rechargeables, or on line power. So using the rechargeables, you're going to get about 10 to 12 hours off of one charge, and that's when you're sourcing voltage for loop power and using the electrical functionality. And that gets you more than enough time to do all the testing required to do off of one charge in a day. We've simplified the user interface, added touchscreen operation, and included an icon-driven dashboard menu so you can easily access any required operation. So it's no longer a case of button pushing and selecting through a number of menus. It's very, very simple to get to the task function that you want. The 611 will also calculate pass-fail errors. It'll document test results, and it interfaces with calibration software. The GE Druck engineering team, with combined experience and expertise, have added several mechanical and electrical improvements, resulting in a truly rugged, weatherproof, state-of-the-art instrument. From the mechanical fittings to the electronic circuitry, these updates are all very, very apparent. As I mentioned earlier, we reduced the bore and increased the stroke length, providing faster and easier pressure generation. So you can now generate 300 psi or 95% vacuum with a 3-foot hose connected to your device under test in about 30 seconds. It may be manual operation, but there's no waiting around for an electronic pump as it struggles to get to the higher pressures. We've designed a grip for your hand, as you can see in the larger photo right there, and this allows you to rest the 611 on your forearm when you're pumping up pressures. It's very, very comfortable. Ergonomically, it feels really good. You can also use the strap provided to secure the 611. You can see that in the photo on the left side. And this can be switched to the right side if you're left-handed. You can connect the strap to the top portion of the 611 if you want to hang the unit up during operation. You'll see in the upcoming slides it's got a large, bright, easy-to-read display. Customers really always like that about the 610, and we've even improved that on this new design on the 611. So you can really see the pressure and electrical readouts from a good distance away. On the top right is a precision vent valve to control decreasing pressures, which is located next to the pressure fitting up there. And the vernier adjuster on the left-hand side of the pump and provides extremely fine control. We've also built in a pressure relief valve, which is set for about 150% of the maximum internal pressure range of the unit itself to provide overpressure protection. So there's a lot of new functionality built into that. We've improved the pressure measurement accuracy to 0.0185%. Again, that's best in class. And accuracy right now is very commonly defined just as being linearity, hysteresis, and repeatability. But the 611's total uncertainty, which includes temperature effects and the calibration standard for 1 year, is 0.025%. We've got 5 internal pressure ranges that go from minus 14.5 to 15, 30, 100, 150, and 300 psi. The electrical accuracy is also best in class. The 611 provides 24-volt loop power. It will measure a source current or DC voltage. which is more than 3 times better than the 610 and stated in our data sheet as the total uncertainty and defined as total uncertainty, as I mentioned before. As I said, that provides the best electrical accuracy of any comparable calibrator on the marketplace. The 611 has a full function built-in loop calibrator, and all the required electrical connections can be made through 4 weatherproof sockets, which are conveniently located up on the top of the 611. There's a full color electrical connection guide on the unit. It's on board in the help menu, and just in case you need assistance to make the connections, this shows you any of the selections that you choose where to make these connections. We've designed a quick-to-fit connector system, which is a hand-tight adapter system using O-rings. It's a leak-free pressure connector that protects the calibrator from damage and doesn't require tools or sealing on the connector side to the 611. One of the issues that we've seen even with the 610 and some of the other instruments that are on the marketplace is that the pressure device or device under test or hose connected right to the calibrator has been set up right against the bulkhead on the instrument itself. And very often, if customers aren't using 2 wrenches to tighten those fittings down, they may over-torque the connector that goes right into the base of the unit and actually crack the case on the unit itself. So the fitting that's actually on the bottom of the unit itself will swivel, so you have to hold that with your hand, but the connection on top, you'll use wrenches to make that connection, but you can easily just thread that down, and it's a hand-sealed fitting, and it protects the device itself from any kind of costly repairs and issues that may come up. If the NPT threads on the device under the test connection, the top threads, get damaged, they can be easily replaced. That fitting is a throwaway fitting. It's not very costly, and it results in a pretty inexpensive repair or replacement on that fitting. The fittings that we provide are 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch is standard, and there are some other additional adapter sets that can be purchased along with hose kits for that as well. We've added the same adapter system design into our dirt moisture traps as shown in the picture on the right-hand side there. We really highly recommend using the dirt moisture trap. It's a trap that's basically connected to your device under test. So when you pressurize the system, you've got everything that's in there, then vent that system out. Everything that may be in the line, any kind of contamination that may be in that system, in the process, in the device that's being calibrated will actually get sucked right back into the calibrator again, and that can do damage to the O-rings and seals that are in the unit. Moisture, any kind of contaminated fluid, whatever. So these dirt moisture traps, which are just basically traps, they have to be mounted in the vertical position, have no impact on the overall uncertainty or accuracy of the calibration, but they allow you to keep from getting any contamination back into the unit. We've got the same type of adapter system. You can see that on the top and the bottom of the IDT, so it's just a simple hand thread connection down into the unit. The 611 uses a high-resolution resistive color touchscreen. It's the first portable pressure calibrator on the market that supports swipes and gestures, and it features a dashboard, which you'll see in a moment in the next slide, and it's got icons on there which can be easily selected for your required task. The task menu allows you to create and name your most commonly used tasks. These can be easily recalled. Once you set them up, for example, like if you've got 24-volt loop power and current measurement on channel 1 and then pressure on channel 2, you can name that whatever you want, something that you're comfortable with that you'll easily recall, and store that along with a number of other different tasks that you may have. Bring that up, or you can go into where the favorites section is on that, and there are a number of predetermined tasks that are in there that you just check off, and they automatically get added to your favorite selection. So it's not a case of having to go in there every time you do a calibration or a specific test to go in there and rearrange or reset the instrument. You can set it for what you want to do, your common tasks, your range, your resolution, etc. Is it current or voltage, exactly. Then make your connections, go on there and set that up. And like I said, you have one of 2 different ways to do that, either in the favorites menu on the task section or go through on the dashboard and go into files and name it a task that you want. Either way, it's just a simple case of 1 or 2 button pushes and you're right up and running and out and doing your calibrations on there. You can automate the calibration procedures and data log the results. You can save them and then download to a PC as CSV files for Excel or document using calibration and maintenance software. The 611 has 8 gigabytes of memory, so you've got plenty of storage capacity there. The 611 also features an analysis mode which calculates and displays pass and fail results on the screen. So you can run a test, save the selected results, and then play them back. So you've got 5 calibration points or 10 calibration points. You can actually store them. It captures that screenshot, and then you can replay them later to see exactly what the results were, that if you want to send them off or just capture them to see what your test results were in that particular instrument. As I mentioned earlier, the 611 features a full function loop calibrator, so you can simulate a transmitter, test valve positioners, check loops, alarms, and safety systems. If you look on the top part of the screenshot there, you'll actually see there's current with a little arrow going out of it. So if the arrow is going out, that means you're sourcing current. If the arrow is going in, that means you're actually measuring. So on the screen, you always know how the unit's been set up. The loop functionality can be manual or you're fully automated for percent step, defined step, span check, ramp, and can be set for 1 cycle or auto repeat. Again, the electrical accuracy of the 611 is best in class. The forward arrow on there, the green arrow that you see on there, actually you just press that and that will start up the automated functionality of the instrument. And then the up and down arrows allow you to manually select if you want to go in the manual process to choose to go up whatever increment that you've sent as far as your electrical output signal on the device for current, voltage, etc. You can also set pressure switches. The DPI611 displays when contacts have either been opened or closed. You can see that the provided points, and this calculates its deadband. You can see that in the screenshot on the left. So it opens at one point, closes at the next point. There's a little selector up on top that shows you the points where it's been opened and closed. You'll actually see that, and then it calculates the deadband or hysteresis as it says there. Then there's also the capability of running a leak test with the instrument. And you can basically take the leak rate test over time, and this can be set for hours, minutes, or seconds. Obviously, as I mentioned before, on the screen on the bottom, you can see where the nudges and the arrows, so you can nudge your points up and down based upon how you've set that up. It can also be used to set pressure release valves. It'll capture and display the relief point, and you can jump on from here. One of the other things that you can do with this 611 is that you can set this for what we call XY scaling. So if you've got a transmitter that's got a current output on that, and you're going from 0 to 300 psi with 4 to 20 as your current, you can set the channel 2 so it reads actually in pressure. So rather than take a reading that may say 10.53 milliamps and not really be sure what that means and not having to use a lookup table, you can actually convert that in the XY scaling process on the 611. So your reading output in terms is in pressure, but you can do the same thing on your input. You can convert the scaling so that you're actually reading in pressure as well. You can change the resolution and the engineering units on the instrument. I've already mentioned the wiring connecting diagrams. The 611 also contains a full user manual, and you can display on screen to select through if you've got any questions about the operation. You can also save the manual to your PC and then download that if you want a hard copy of the instrument, of the manual itself. To extend the pressure range capability, you can connect our IDOS, which are intelligent digital output sensors, to the USB connection on the 611. Our IDOS sensors are provided in ranges from 10 inches of water up to 10,000 psi, and we have accuracies from 0.03 to 0.01% of full scale available. I've covered a lot of this already, but this slide also highlights the 611 layout and the location of various components. The center, which you'll look at here, is the large color display with adjustable contrast for easy viewing. A white background can be set for outdoor viewing. It's great for sunny, bright applications. You can also set it for a black background as well. You've got an on-off sleep button there on the center of the instrument. So what that does is it saves the battery power, but doesn't shut the unit off. So if you're going to do a test and maybe not use the instrument for 10 or 15 minutes, you can put it into the sleep mode on that. We've also got anti-slip feet that are on the instrument. So if you're using it on a bench, this holds the instrument in place, makes it very, very easy to operate. We've also got USB connections on the instrument, and all the electrical connections are located behind the protective cover, which is on the right-hand side of the instrument. So in closing, I've gone through a lot in a fairly short period of time, but we're pretty excited and proud of the new 611. It's the result of many years of experience and customer feedback, and it's really been created on simplicity, reliability, and accuracy, and we expect that it's going to become the new workhorse for maintaining and calibrating pressure instrumentation. So I'd like to thank you all for your time, and as Nicole said, there's a few things that she wanted to review, and then we'll go ahead with it and see if there's any questions. Thanks again.
Thanks, Tom. Tom, can you go to the next slide for me?
Sure.
Yep, there we are. Thanks. All right, so I'm going to open it up to any questions. So you can submit questions on the right side. There's a questions portion in your panel, so I encourage you to submit questions. Before we start going into the questions, I just wanted to highlight a limited time offer that we have actually on the DPI611. It's a free dirt and moisture trap that Tom talked about during the presentation. It's a $265 value, so it's free with purchase now through the end of December. So order from us. You can call our sales team at 800-800-5001 to take advantage of that offer. And we also have special offers on our website for Cyber Week, and we'll be having year-end specials through the end of the year. So we do encourage you to check that out at transcat.com/deals. And if you have any questions about that, Tom, would you go one more slide for me?
Sure.
We have all of our contact information. Thank you. Yep, I've got my email address if there are any questions that you forgot to submit during the presentation. And there's also a GE landing page on our website that I encourage you to check out. So we'll start with the questions. The first question, Tom, how much longer will the DPI610 be available?
That's a good question. Basically, we're going to, the PC version, the up to 300 PSI, as I mentioned, with the built-in pump in the gauge mode, is going to be available through the end of the year. We've got some absolute ranges that are there that are going to go on through the first quarter. We also have an LP model, which is for low inches of water column for differential. That's going to be available for, I'd say, probably the second or third quarter of next year. So, you know, we're going to maintain the capacity to support the 610. We've got at least 5 years worth of spare parts. And, you know, as I said before, a lot of that's driven this is the fact that, you know, this was older analog style technology, but we know there's an awful lot of them out there. I mentioned the number, you know, the 200,000 number. That's not just the 610s, but that's all the 600 series. But we're prepared to maintain and service those products for quite some time. But to answer your question, depending upon the model, pretty much the gauge units, the 610 PC gauge unit up to 300 PSI, will be discontinued at the end of this year.
Okay. Okay, second question. What protection is offered for calibrating with hazardous chemicals?
Basically, it depends upon what the chemicals that are used in this. We have a listing of the O-rings and the seals that are there. I think the best thing to do is to compare what it is that you're bringing in, just to double check to make sure that you're not bringing anything into the O-rings and seals on the instrument. The dirt moisture trap is there, but it's best to make sure that even if you are using this, to compare with what the O-rings and seal materials are, based upon what you've got coming into that system.
Okay. Next question, what is the time between ordering and my company getting it? And I can answer, I mean,
yeah, I was going to say, I'll let you guys answer that one.
Yeah, I mean, Transcat has a very good inventory on the DPI611s already. So many of the ranges we have in stock, so we could ship same day. If we don't have it in stock, Tom, could you talk to if we have to order a special range?
I think you guys have them all in stock. As I mentioned before, we've got 5 ranges of the 611, and we've got them all in stock.
Yeah, so we placed an order as soon as the product was released to make sure that we could service our customers. So you should be good to go with same day or next day delivery. I'm sorry, same day shipment, not same day delivery. Okay. Next question, are there 5 pressure modules with each unit, or do you order the pressure modules separately?
No, each unit has a dedicated pressure range, as these are internal sensors. So it would be -14 to 30 psi or 50 psi or 150 psi. So it comes with a dedicated range inside the instrument itself.
Okay. Another question,
That's
do you offer on-site training?
I'm sure between our channel partners and with Transcat, we could certainly work out some type of arrangement for that.
And we also have a try before you buy program that if you're interested in, please reach out to me and I'll connect you with the right person. Okay.
Yeah, going back to the other question, Nicole, as far as the ranges are concerned, that's one of the reasons why we have the external transducers available for if somebody buys an instrument, for example, and they've got a 150 psi range, but they're looking to do calibrations and will rely upon the display of the 611, then we have the IDOS sensors which can be connected to give you expanded ranges as far as the pressure is concerned.
Right. Okay. Can I use the 610 remote sensors with the new 611?
Another good question. Unfortunately, the answer to that is no, because we're using digital technology on the 611, and the 610 were older analog-style transducers. So unfortunately, everything is a digital-based system on the 611. So no, they're not. We can't use them on this.
Okay. All right. Next question. Are there adapter kits and hose kits available for the 611?
Yes, that's all documented. I know they're on your page in the catalog and on our data sheet. So yes, there are both adapter fittings and hose kits available for these.
Okay. All right. How do you zero the calibrator?
It's real simple. You go back to the dashboard that I showed. You basically go to the calibrator section on the instrument, and then you'll get the 2 screens that are up there. It's a split screen. The top screen will give you your electrical reading. The bottom screen gives you your pressure reading on that. You just tap on that pressure side of it, and up comes an icon that gives you the menu where you can actually change the resolution and or zero the internal sensor. You hit the 0 button on there. It asks you want to zero the sensor. You hit yes, and it automatically zeroes the pressure sensor for you, and you're good to go. It's very, very quick.
Okay. How many digits pressure resolution does the unit have?
7. And they're adjustable, as I mentioned, on that same dashboard menu as the 0 for the sensor.
Okay. Got one more. How do you change the pump to vacuum?
There's a switch on the front. Right where the vacuum pump is, there's actually a collar, and you just turn that in the opposite direction, and from there, that changes it from being a vacuum pump to a positive pressure pump or vice versa. 2-second operation.
Great. Thanks, Tom. So that looks like that's it for our questions. So if you think of something that you didn't ask during this portion of the presentation, feel free to email me and I'll get you connected with Tom and we'll get you an answer to your question. My Contact information is on this last slide, nvanwert@transcat.com. And our sales team can be reached at 800-800-5001. And I encourage you to check out our website. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you got something out of the presentation and that you continue to join us for future Transcat e-learning webinars. Thanks. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.